Chapter 48. The detective expressed his disbelief, saying, "That just sounds absolutely insane. But if what you're saying is true, why didn't they take any action against you?" Adelmo calmly replied, "Well, the only reason for that was because I was unconscious at the time, and while everyone else was being brutally attacked, blood accidentally splattered on him. Whatever it was, it must have assumed he was dead." Adelmo couldn't be entirely certain if that was the exact reason, but all the evidence he had gathered seemed to point in that direction. Deep in thought, the detective pondered the situation and finally responded, "Well, I suppose that is a plausible explanation." However, since he had never encountered anything like this before, he was understandably unsure about what to believe. The detective understood that the circumstances were extraordinary and required careful consideration before jumping to any conclusions. Curious to gather more information, Adelmo turned to the detective and asked, "So, detective, do you have any knowledge about the incidents involving Dracula? Have there been any reported sightings, killings, or any peculiar marks that people have ended up with?" Adelmo hoped that the detective might possess some valuable insights or leads that could shed light on the mysterious events surrounding Dracula. The detective pondered for a moment before responding, "You know, Romania has always been a place of mystery and folklore. It's not uncommon for people to make wild claims and believe in supernatural occurrences. Whether these claims hold any truth is a whole different story altogether." Adelmo seemed intrigued and asked, "But have you personally encountered any strange incidents?" The detective sighed and replied, "I've come across some peculiar individuals, but it's not uncommon for people to pretend or impersonate things around here. So, it's hard to say if what I see is actually happening or just someone playing a role. I can't be certain about what's really going on." Adelmo pressed further, "So, have there been any recent unexplained deaths?" The detective paused, thinking about recent events, and finally said, "Well, since you arrived, the only thing that caught my attention was the plane incident. It was quite unusual. Other than that, there haven't been any new developments. If your theory about a werewolf is correct, one would expect more incidents to occur, wouldn't they?" Adelmo pondered for a moment before sharing his thoughts. Perhaps they were attempting to resist the urge? He considered the possibility that being confined on the plane might have made it difficult for them to escape the overwhelming urge, leading to their outburst of rage. While he wasn't entirely sure, the explanation seemed plausible to him. The detective acknowledged his perspective. "Your theory could be accurate. It's becoming increasingly challenging to discern the truth of situations these days. I find myself just taking things as they come and hoping for the best outcome," the detective added, expressing his uncertainty about the current state of affairs. Adelmo then revealed his plans. "I wanted to inform you that I will be heading back home tomorrow." He continued, "If you have any further inquiries, I won't be available in person, but you can reach me by phone if needed." The detective appreciated Adelmo's forthcoming nature and replied, "Thank you for letting me know about your departure. I will keep your contact information handy in case I need to reach out to you for any additional details." Adelmo nodded in agreement, feeling reassured that he had provided a means for the detective to contact him if necessary. With that, they concluded their conversation, each prepared to move forward with their respective plans. As they engaged in their conversation, hunger began to gnaw at them both. They decided to satisfy their appetites and placed their orders. Soon enough, their food arrived, steaming and tantalizing. They savored each bite, their conversation flowing effortlessly in between mouthfuls. Time seemed to slip away unnoticed, and before they knew it, their plates were empty. The detective, realizing the urgency of his task, excused himself to attend to some pressing matters before it grew too late. Meanwhile, Adelmo remained deep in thought, nursing his coffee as he pondered the mysteries that lay before him. Adelmo sat at the table, lost in his own musings, his mind swirling with questions. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, mingling with the sounds of clinking cutlery and murmured conversations. Just as he was about to take another sip, the waitress appeared, her presence a welcome interruption. She graciously offered to refill his cup, her smile warm and inviting. Seizing the opportunity, Adelmo couldn't help but inquire about any peculiar sightings or rumors surrounding Dracula and his infamous castle. The waitress paused for a moment, her eyes flickering with a hint of intrigue. She confessed that while she hadn't personally witnessed anything out of the ordinary, there were whispers among the locals. According to the tales, Dracula's spirit was said to roam the halls of his castle, especially at night. Adelmo's curiosity piqued, wondering if he had indeed encountered the legendary figure during his recent visit. Grateful for the waitress's insight, Adelmo expressed his appreciation before she resumed her duties. He gazed out of the window, noticing the encroaching darkness that painted the sky. Realizing that time was slipping away, he glanced at his watch, its hands ticking relentlessly. With a sense of urgency, he made up his mind. It was time to venture to Dracula's castle and uncover the truth that lay hidden within its ancient walls. As he prepared to leave, Adelmo couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The mysteries that awaited him were both thrilling and daunting. With a determined stride, he stepped out into the gathering dusk, ready to face whatever secrets Dracula's castle held. As he approached the towering castle, Adelmo couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu. The moonlight cast an eerie glow on the ancient stone walls, and he couldn't shake the feeling that he had been here before. With a mixture of trepidation and curiosity, he entered the castle, retracing his steps from the previous night. The heavy wooden door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit hallway that seemed to stretch endlessly into the darkness. As Adelmo ventured deeper into the castle, his footsteps echoing ominously, he couldn't help but notice the eerie silence that enveloped the place. The air was heavy with a musty scent, and cobwebs clung to the corners of the corridor. He continued his exploration, hoping to stumble upon some signs of life. Suddenly, he caught a glimpse of figures in the distance. His heart skipped a beat as he recognized his grandfather's neighbor among them. Could he be the one who had led him to that mysterious room the night before? And who was that figure that resembled Dracula, but with a subtle alteration in appearance? Adelmo's mind raced with questions, but he knew he had to find answers.